You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Thursday, but it feels like Friday because we won't be here tomorrow. 28th day of March, 2024. Tomorrow, of course, is Good Friday, and the markets are closed. In fact, Globex won't even open tonight. True story. Now, I talked about this the other day, and some of you heard it, some of you missed it, but we've all gone to the Good Friday service. We've all gone to the Easter service. Even the pagans go to the Easter service, right? But I want you to think about Saturday. This ragtag band of men and women who had followed this man named Jesus, the Messiah. They had sold out their lives 100%, believing that he was ushering in the kingdom of God. And they weren't wrong. But when they took him down from that cross on Friday and put him in that empty tomb, they went into hiding. They were on the most wanted list because they had been cavorting the one they just killed, the author of life. They hid, they worried, they cried, tore their clothing, rubbed ashes on their forehead, stuff people did back in the day when they were freaked out. And they were freaked out. Until Sunday morning. Now, in some denominations, women are not allowed to preach. In fact, I'm mistaken, Elevation left the Southern Baptist over that very reason. Anyway, and if that's how you believe, that's fine. That's between you and God. But the first women, or the first person, the first people, let's do it that way, first people to ever preach the good news were women. I'm not talking about just 3 hysterical women standing, at an open tomb. They went, they saw, they came back, they shared the good news. He is risen. Then those famous 5 words that you use to invite your neighbor to church this coming Sunday. Come see. Jesus is alive. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. This is our second live broadcast of the day. We do 2 every trading day. The first live broadcast is for members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. Unlike this broadcast, which is open to the public. That's everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. Now, back to the first broadcast of the day, the one for members only. If you haven't taken your 1-week free trial, go to mytradingiq.com And at the very top of the page, there's a link that says 5-day free trial. No credit card required. We foot the bill. All you got to do is click the link and fill out the registration form properly. It's an automated process, so if you don't fill it out properly, we won't get it. We won't know you wanted to take a trial. And, well, everything goes downhill from there. So take a minute, fill it out properly, and here's what will happen. Today, we'll do our very best today to get your desktop set up, get your indicators indicating, and you'll have 3 whole days because tomorrow's a holiday. But some markets never sleep, like Forex and crypto. So you'll have tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday with full use of the indicators, but it won't account against your trial. You'll still get 5 full days next week. That I just turned a 5-day free trial into an 8-day free trial? I did. I got more magic where that came from. Seriously. Sign up today. Be able to get familiar with the indicators over the weekend. 3 days. And then you'll have your 5-day trial next week. Now, when you take the trial, you're not just getting access to the live training room. Yes, that's a big part of it. But you also have access to every resource that our passport holders have access to for 5 consecutive trading days. 8 if you do what I just told you. Without having to spend a dime. So you have a clear head. Your mind's not on whatever money you put up to take the trial or whatever. No, we foot the bill. We want you to have a clear head so that at the end of the trial, you can make a well-informed and intelligent decision as to whether or not trading is right for you. Obviously, it's not right for everybody, or everybody would be doing it. So the trial is really for you to figure out if it's right for you. Okay? Now, if everyone who ever attempted to become a trader actually had a hands-on teacher 2 hours every trading day, then I dare say there would be a whole lot more people who could actually call themselves a trader. But, well, you know the deal. Who wants to spend some big sum of money when you can just buy that $99 indicator set on the internet and never get stopped out again? Yeah, right. Should be illegal, huh? But it's not. People get taken advantage of every single day. Stop the madness. Okay? The only holy grail in the world of trading is this: learning how to trade. And all the books and all the videos and all the indicators and oscillators and algorithms aren't worth diddly squat unless you have an actual living, breathing teacher taking off trades in live markets while you trade along in your demo account and ask lots of questions and get an answer to every question you ask. That's how you learn how to trade. And we don't just teach you how to trade one specific instrument, because lots of people will tell you, oh, you can't trade gold the same way you trade the ES. They have different personalities. All we're looking for is a high probability, low risk trade setup. Not looking for a relationship here. So they can have their different personalities. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. Whether it's futures or stocks or crypto or Forex or ETFs, price flow from support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over, again and again. It's a never-ending cycle. So go to mytradingiq.com. Click that link at the top of the page. Yes, we do have to check your IP address. You only get one trial every 6 months with a lifetime cap of 2. So make sure you make good use of the time that we do give you, that we foot the bill for. Now, when the live training room ends each day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we do take a 30-minute break and come back for this broadcast, the afternoon broadcast. There's a couple different ways to join this broadcast live. Best way, you only have to do this once. Go to mytradingiq.com. Scroll down the page to where it says afternoon broadcast. Click the link. There you're going to get just a 30-second registration form and you're done. Not only will it get you in same day, but going forward, you'll get an email about an hour before this broadcast starts each trading day. And in that email, there's a link. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email and it will automatically log you into our platform. The benefit of that is you'll have access to the question box, so you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there's going to be days that you're out of the office, away from your desktop, but you still want to join live. You can. And there'll be days when you're busy, you can't join live, but you do want to get caught up later. You can do that too. I'm speaking, of course, about our YouTube channel. It's really easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN. You already know the YouTube part, so all you really have to remember is CFRN, which stands for the Christian Financial Radio Network. Okay? CFRN. Now, not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, as we're doing right now, we're simulcasting, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there are over 2,400 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are. Not just today, not just this week, but really how we've evolved over the years. Thanks to the power of YouTube, you can scroll back a week, 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, 3 years, even 8 years. Yeah. Obviously, you're not going to watch them all, but just pick some days at random. Listen in a little bit, fast forward a little bit, listen in some more. You'll discover the thread of connectivity, the thread of continuity that's woven through each and every daily broadcast and our very vibrant trading community. youtube.com/CFRN. Okay, let's open with our daily devotional and a word of prayer as we do every day. Then we'll get into the markets. Then about 12:45, 12:50, Michael will join us. He'll give us a recap of what happened in the live training room this morning. Then we'll go live on the TradingView platform, 30 minutes of live trading. And I will complete the recap and wrap up this week with our good word for the day. Now, the topic of our devotion, which we began a couple days ago, How to hear the voice of God. That's compelling, right? How many times do you say, well, God never talks to me? Have you listened? He's a gentleman. He doesn't shout. It's a whisper. Psalm 32:7 is our scripture today. It's short and sweet. I'm going to share it with you from the Message translation. God's my island hideaway, keeps danger far from the shore, throws garlands of hosannas around my neck. Psalm 32:7. Should read all of Psalm 32. Question. Have you ever tried to quiet a loud room? Attempting to yell above the crowd usually doesn't work, does it? It's far more effective to shush the crowd with a shh. That's the method God employs. His whisper quiets us, calms us, stills us. That's why chronic noise may be the greatest impediment to our spiritual growth. When our lives get loud, with noise filling every frequency, we lose our sense of being. We run the risk of turning into human doings rather than human beings. And when our schedules get busy, we lose our sense of balance, which is a function of the inner ear. Can I go out on a limb? Your life is too loud. Your schedule is too busy. That's how and why and when we forget that God is God. And it takes very little to distract us. The solution? Stillness. Or more specifically, His still, small voice. Silence is anything but passive waiting. It's proactive listening. And each day, God's voice gets a little louder in our lives until He's all we can hear. If you want to hear the heart of God, silence is key. If you want the Spirit of God to fill you, be still. The psalmist referred to God as their refuge, their fortress, and their ever-present help in time of need. But my favorite description might be the hiding place. Did you know that God is singing songs of deliverance all around you, all the time? You can't hear them because they're outside the range of human hearing. But you're literally surrounded by a sonic shield. Those songs of deliverance are powerful enough to break any bondage, overcome any addiction, and solve any problem. I'm not sure what problem you need to solve or what issue you need to resolve, but my prayer is that you'll learn to discern God's voice. When you do, His songs of deliverance can set you free. Quit hiding from God. Hide yourself in God. something to ponder. What is one noise you could cut out from your day or your schedule this week so you might be able to hear God's whispers to you more clearly? Think about that over the weekend, and we'll pick up on this topic again Monday. Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, as we gather before you today, thank you for the comforting words of Psalm 32, where it says that you are our hiding place, that you will protect us from trouble, that you will surround us with songs of deliverance. Lord, in a world filled with so much uncertainty and turmoil, we take refuge in you. You are our safe haven. We thank you, Lord, for your faithfulness and your protection over us. May we continue to find our refuge in you, knowing that you are our strength and our salvation. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, Amen. Amen and happy Thursday. I hope it is a happy Thursday for you, whoever you are, and wherever you are. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. Start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices, as they're called. Told you it was going to be a thin week, and, well, I was hoping I was wrong, but I wasn't. Which reminds me, Phil Robertson has a new book out. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Now, if you don't know the name Phil Robertson, he was the patriarch of the family on the TV show Duck Commander. Remember that? They still have shows now on Fox Nation. And I've told you, and I'll tell you again, they do a great podcast 3 or 4 days a week called Unashamed. And when the podcast starts, you can hear Phil's voice say, I am unashamed. What about you? Remember, we should never be ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. All right, the Dow's up a whopping 19 points. The NASDAQ is down a whopping 18 points, which, tongue-in-cheek, that's practically nothing, okay? S&P up 2 points. The only mover and shaker in the house here is the Russell, up 19 points. That's almost 1%. In the commodity basket, crude oil, on the other hand, is up $1.25, trading 82.60 last. That's a gain of 1.5%. Gold, go gold, up $22.40, trading 22.3510 last. That's a gain of just over 1%. Silver up a dime, trading 24.85 last. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei dropped 594 points, 1.5%. Shanghai rose 17. The Hang Seng rose 148. That's almost 1%. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE up 33. The DAX up 20. The CAC up 9. Now, I've got some articles I want to share with you. Let's just do this part real quick here. Let's look at Logic 247. It's our 24/7 around the clock E-mini alert service. We are currently in week 295 of Logic 247. First it was an idea, then it was a beta test, and then we launched 295 weeks ago. Since then, we've published over 16,200 individual handcrafted alerts. That's right, I said over 16,200 alerts. And what we've averaged on a weekly basis is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on market structure. And a very simple process that we teach all of our passport holders. Valerie did this recap this morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. Since then, some things have changed, and I have added some additional alerts. So this afternoon, she'll do a final recap for the week because the markets are closed tomorrow. At the time she did the recap this morning, since the markets opened this past Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, we issued 58 alerts. One never triggered. We were still waiting on 13. That gave us 44 actionable alerts, of which 7 or 16% would have been stopped out, again based on market structure and that very simple process that we teach all of our passport holders. Now, let me show you this. We're so close to putting in a new all-time historic high. The all-time historic high is 53.2275. Today's high is 53.16 and a quarter. So we're, roughly 6 points away from another all-time historic high. Now, this run began October 27th. The low was put in October 27th. November 2nd, we crossed above that green line. It's called the BBC. You'll see it on all my charts. It stands for Bull Bear Cross. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish and anticipate lower prices. When price crosses above the green line, we're bullish and anticipate higher prices. Now you can see that price does not travel in a straight line. Even though we've been bullish, big picture, since November 2nd, this is not a straight line. You get a leg and a retracement and a leg and a retracement and a leg and a retracement. A leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement. You get the idea. Okay. Now what's unusual about this? This is so long in the tooth. Okay. I really thought we were going to get back below the BBC, just as we got above it on November 2nd of last year, before we put in another new all-time historic high. Guess what? I may have been wrong. Is that going to change anything about how I view the markets? How I do my technical analysis? No. Because I understand there are certain things about trading that I have no control over. Now, I can argue with the screen all day long, oh, well, price can't go any higher, and sit there and watch it do exactly that. Or the infamous, well, we can't go any lower, and then we do. So, hopefully, you're way beyond that. As I teach you every day, you got to embrace all possibilities. Okay, that's why with the Logic 247 over the last couple weeks, I've been putting out a lot of alerts and then an opposite of the very alert. It says ES buy, and then it'll say hedge ES with a short. What I'm showing you is both windows of opportunity that exist at that moment in time. When you learn to do that, then all you got to do is just sit back and wait for price to either get to the window of opportunity above or the window of opportunity below. And when it gets there, then you take action using exactly what you learn every single day in the live training room, 2 hours and 10 minutes. When you're in that live training room, if you're not trading along in your demo account and asking lots of questions, you're not learning how to trade. If you think sitting there watching Michael is going to teach you how to trade, it won't happen. You can spend a decade watching Mark Spitz swim, but if somebody throws you in the deep end of the pool, you're going to sink like a rock. Only way to learn how to swim is get in the water. Only way to learn how to trade is start pushing buttons, as Bert says. But you start pushing the buttons in your demo account so you don't lose any real money as you're learning the ropes. Makes sense, right? Makes perfect sense. So why do so many people fight it? You got me. Now, the reason I go to the daily chart first every single day is because the institutional traders, the ones who have accounts in the hundreds of millions, billions, and trillions of dollars, and trade in incredible size, they're the ones who move price. So, give me the chance to look over the shoulder of the deep pockets that actually move the markets before I start trading, and I'm one happy camper. Now, today's candle doesn't tell us a lot, but most days it will. Now, we do know where major resistance is at today's high. And then if we go to last Friday, the high is 53.1175, and then the all-time historic high is 53.2275. But see, you can't see all that on your range chart. You can't even see all that on your 30-minute chart, unless you scrunch it up, okay? Institutional traders look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts, the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. What a gift to be able to look over the shoulder of the people who actually move price. Because then all you have to do is exactly what they're doing, just long enough to get your goal for the day, and then have the discipline to put the mouse away. Think about it. Okay? All right. I know we leapfrogged over one part, so let's leap back. Long before we had Logic 247, which I just showed you this week's results, long before Logic 247, and that's been around 295 weeks, which is a while. We had the concierge trade alerts. Now they're different in a couple different ways. Number one, the logic alerts come out around the clock. They can come out at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. because futures trade around the clock, and we have traders around the globe. Our day session is their night session, and vice versa. The CTAs, on the other hand, are published as a static report shortly after the Globex open. Now, I do my best to get them out as soon as I can after the open, Tuesday night, I got them out at 6:05. Last night, I didn't get them out till 6:50. If you come from the world of equities, understand that the Thursday session that we're in right now began last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. Now, tomorrow's a holiday, but if it weren't, what would happen is stocks would close today at 4, futures would close at 5, everything goes quiet for an hour, and then at 6 p.m. Eastern, the Friday session begins, even though it's still Thursday night here in the U.S. But that's not going to happen tonight because of the holiday tomorrow. When Globex doesn't open, you're talking a big holiday, okay? And I guess really Good Friday and Easter Sunday and that Saturday that hangs in between, it's about as big a holiday as we have, especially for believers. Now, what do you do with this information when it's posted? Go to the 30-minute chart of whatever market you actually trade and make a note on your 30-minute chart where price is at the time the report was published. It will always be between these two numbers. Okay. Then draw a line in the sand at the long target and a line in the sand at the short target. Those will serve as great visual cues to help you stay on the right side of the street. If price gets above the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to reach the long target. If price gets below the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the short target. You just saw the BBC, the green line on my daily chart. It stands for bull, bear, cross. Price crosses above the green line, we're bullish and anticipate higher prices relative to whatever time frame we're looking at. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish and anticipate lower prices relative to whatever time frame we're looking at. All alerts, both the logic and the CTAs, the concierge alerts, they're based on the 30-minute chart. I execute trades on a range chart, but I go opportunity hunting on the 30-minute chart. Okay? Now that part's pretty simple. Now with the logic alerts, you'll notice that many of them have multiple targets. That's because I look left for you to spot the potential obstacles to the trade. Previous swing highs or swing lows, depending upon whether it's a long or a short alert. But remember, our goal is for you to become self-sufficient. If your goal is to someday trade for a living, that will never happen as long as you're dependent upon someone else to tell you when to get in and when to get out. You've got to learn to be able to look at a chart and instinctively see where the window of opportunity lies. And when you become a member in our one-on-one mentoring sessions, we'll teach you exactly how to do that. And every day in the live training room, Michael teaches you how to execute the trades on the smaller time frame range chart with surgical precision. With the CTAs, you get to look left yourself. See, you're stepping up your game. Okay? Now, the purpose of the alerts is not so you can just trade them and not have to learn how to trade. The alerts are actually part of your learning experience. Okay? I want to get you to the point where you're able to see exactly what I see. I was at a mentoring session yesterday, and I put out a logic alert during the mentoring session. And the person said, it's kind of cool to see behind the scenes, behind the curtain, how you actually do that. But then I asked him, I go, now everything I just did to create that alert, does that make perfect sense to you? And he said, yeah, it sure does. So you see, it's baby steps, and pretty soon you're running, okay? Then you're flying, right? Also, you got to learn how price behaves at a weekly trading zone. That's really important because price is always trying to reach a weekly trading zone. From the moment the markets open Sunday night till they close Friday afternoon, if price is above the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to reach the zone above. Price is below the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to reach the zone below. We've published the zones every week for our members since December 14th of 2009. We're closing in on 15 years. Only 3 things happen when price encounters a weekly zone. 70% of the time is consolidation, 20% of the time is rejection, 10% of the time is the slice. The zones are published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Once they're published, they're carved in stone for the entire week. They do not change in any way whatsoever. I apologize. I was supposed to roll gold forward to the M contract last night. Even made myself a big old note, which I then laid something on top of the note. And as you can see, where is gold? Gold. Yeah, I failed to roll it last night, so my bad. Sorry. Other than what I just explained, please resist the urge to complicate things. I see people do it every day. We've been working since 2005 to create something that is incredibly simple. And invariably, and it's part of the human condition. It's not speaking bad of any one person. It's just part of the human condition. We think we can fix it. We think we can make it better. We can add one more filter, one more this. Guys, we've already been down that road. Michael and I together. We used to have every indicator and oscillator known to man on our charts. And when we ran out of stuff to buy, we started rolling our own. And then we had a revelation that what we were doing wasn't fixing anything. It was just making it worse. So that's when we stripped it down to just the bare bones. And on my charts, you see the bare bones. All you need is the BBC, price, the weekly zones. I do have the CFMA1 and the step line on my chart. But if I didn't, I'd be okay. Now, because this broadcast is open to the public, if you're not a member or trial member, you didn't get these numbers last night at 6:50. So if you want to grab a screenshot, you can. If you're watching after the fact on YouTube, you can hit pause, jot down the numbers important to you, because before this broadcast is over today, we're going to go through each and every one of these markets and see what happened. Michael should be joining us here any minute. We've already covered the daily. Let's jump to the 30-minute of the ES. Okay. Here's where we opened last night. The vertical line right here separates today, Friday, which began last night. It's Thursday. It's Wednesday. Now, see this right here? That's consolidation. When price rallies up to a zone, we expect resistance until proven otherwise. When price drops, we expect support. When price drops to a zone, we expect support. Price hits a zone, we expect resistance. until proven otherwise. Now, interestingly enough, for apparently no reason, we had this huge 30-minute candle yesterday going into the close. I mean, this happened at 3:30. That's typically a pretty quiet time in the markets. And we opened at 52.86 and ran all the way to 53.10. It's like 24 points at $50 a point. And one 30-minute candle, again, for no apparent reason. I went out, I checked my news feeds. I could not find any catalyst for this move. Sometimes things just happen. Now, here's the opening candle last night. We're right at the weekly zone, consolidating. We got red and falling overhead, which is bearish. So that pushes price down to the zone 5302/5303. The zones are two lines. I just put one because if it's like up here, I know that it's 22/23. I'm a minimalist. I like to keep my charts as clutter-free as possible. Now, price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green. It's called the BBC. When price crosses below it, we're bearish and anticipate lower prices. When price crosses above it, we're bullish and anticipate higher prices. So price pulled back, and this was support times 2. When price drops to a zone, we expect support. When price drops to the BBC, we expect support. And so there's 2 reasons why we expect support to hold. And then off we go, up to the target that was published during the life of this candle right here. Okay, we've covered just the ES. We've now pulled back to the BBC. The big question is, will it hold or not? When I come back, we'll find out. But for now, Michael is going to give us a recap of what happened in the live training room. Then we're going to go live on the TradingView platform for 30 minutes. Then I'll come back. We'll complete the recap we were just on, and we'll wrap things up for the week with our good word for the day. Looks good.
All right. Good. Hey, I don't know if you noticed, but you see my charts, right?
Uh-huh.
So I've been adding this little bit down here.
I see a lot of things. I see your charts, I see a browser window, and I see another browser window.
Yeah. The browser window that I'm talking about is right here. So I've been adding this. We've also been on YouTube CR for every day for every day for years.
8 years. I checked it out the other day. 8 years.
Well,
if you want to put that in.
I can't. I mean, I can put 8 in there. I can go back and put 8 in everywhere. But I've done them all for the rest of the time already. But I just put that in there because you can't put a .com and you can't put a www or anything like that. It's flagged if you do that. Okay. But I just put YouTube/CFRN. So we'll
figure it out.
People logging into that should be able to figure it out over the next week.
Okay.
All right.
Good deal.
So that will be ready to go here in just a minute. Here we go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 28th day of March, 2024. It's the last day of the quarter, the last day of the month. What's it going to do? I was telling everybody at the beginning of the week to buy options. Big stuff going to happen between now and Monday. Now and Tuesday, too, when the European markets open up. All right. So if you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com. Right here, sign up for your free 5-day trial. All right. When you click on that, you'll be brought to this registration page. It's going to be a new registration page starting tonight or tomorrow or whenever Valerie makes a new registration page. We'll have a new registration page here. That will have 5 days for tomorrow. So pick on this and you'll be brought to the registration page. Just fill it out. There's no credit card required for the trial. Sign up there. That's all you need to do. All right. Recap. Now today we're kind of, this isn't today. Yeah, this is today. 187.50. Toward the end of the session, we weren't, I had done a lot of talking. And so we were only at 37 something. I managed to get up to another $150. We were at 37.50, and I managed to get another $150 at the end of the session. But this is how we ended the day, the month, and where we are on the year so far. Okay, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all CFTC risk disclosures on the bottom. I don't know if I said that already, but I have to say that every time I show the spreadsheet. Today is the 28th day of March 2024. We made 5 on the NQ, 23 ticks on the Russell. We lost 4 ticks on crude, and we made 7 ticks on the ES. That put us at 187.50 on the morning session. Today took 36 minutes and 9 trades to get to the goal for the day. Now, normally when it takes 36 minutes and 9 trades, it's because I stopped out a couple of times, but I didn't stop out at all on that. I kept getting break-even trades, mostly on the NQ. I think my first 5 trades, 6 trades, I think. I had 4 break-evens on the NQ, 1 + 1 and 1 + 2 on the NQ. Actually, 1 + 1, 1 + 2, 1 + 4. So I was at 7 ticks. My first 6 or 7 trades on the NQ. And then finally I got the 1 trade on the ES for 7 ticks. And that's what's got us to the goal for the day. Anyway, we're going to end the month of March with $7,582. Over 20 days, averaging $379 per contract per 2-hour business day. For the month of March, how did we do last month? 372.13. The month before that, 456. So January we kicked it compared to the rest of it, but it's not bad. 372, 376, consistently profitable. $100 a day is all you need to do. If you can average $100 a day every day and just add contracts, that's all you need to do. But on the year, $22,990, we're $10 away from it in 23. But we're a quarter of the way into the year now. So a quarter of the way into the year, quitting when we got the goal for the day, starting with 13 contracts. We're now at $121,095 on the year, quitting when we get the goal for the day, starting with 13 contracts and adding 1 per month. Monday we'll be at 16 contracts, right? Doing the whole session, we're at 319,855. Now, hourly, is it worth going the whole session by the hour? No, it's not actually. This is a better hourly rate, quitting when we get the goal for the day. So better hourly rate, less stress, less trading, less risk. Quit when you get the goal for the day. That's the motto of the story right there. All right, let's get into the actual trades. Okay, let's get into the actual trades. We'll start here on crude. And this is the whole day on crude. Sorry, we started out here with a stop out right there. And then this one right here, I think I went from -10 on the stop out to -4 right here. I might have gotten more than 6. I think I got a little better than 6, but it was not a full tick the way it averaged it out. But we did get a full stop out of 10 ticks there. And over here, we got 6 ticks profit. So we were -4 on crude. That was our whole day on crude right there. The whole thing right there. The Russell, we had quite a few trades here on the Russell, didn't we? No, we didn't. We had a couple of trades on the Russell. Let's see, we'll go back here. Here's our couple of trades on the Russell. Our first one right here was a +19 on that first trade right there. And then the next one was a +4 to get us to 23. I did have one more trade at the end of the session. If you guys, anybody that sat there and watched me do this, I was highlighting this right here because I had said, I pointed this out when we were back here and I was doing the lesson plan. I had pointed this number out. When we got up to here, I was teaching you how to read the DOM and I had pointed that number out. You guys might remember 2158. Didn't make it up there then, but then as I shut down the morning session, it hit it right here and it came back and it nailed it right here. Now I got long. I had stopped the audio in the session, but I actually showed my DOM where I got long right here and I actually clicked it twice. So I was long 30 contracts right there and I took 11 ticks profit going right up into that number again. Right there. That was where I ended the morning session. That didn't count for the totals. But there was one more decent trade here, one green arrow short here on the Russell during the break. Okay, and the ES, we had just the one trade, it looks like. This one right here, we got the goal for the day and we got 7 ticks in profit. And on that one, this right here was what I was looking for. Actually, 1475 is what I was looking for. That's what the DOM was saying. Because you guys, if anybody was watching or anybody that's in here right now remembers me reading that to you out of the DOM this morning, 1475 is what I was saying I was going to get up to. And it did, 1475, pink right there. And that was all that we did on the ES, one trade. All right, so now I have all this time to spend on the NQ. Look at the NQ, solid no trade zone right here. Nothing since the end of the session this morning. Yeah, it's good that we're not doing anything else today. All right, so go all the way back to here and here. Here we go. This is where we started in here. All these break-even trades that I was telling you about. We started up right here with a break-even trade on that. That went a nice 30, 40 ticks. Break-even trade on that went another 40 ticks. Break-even trade on that went 30, 40 ticks. Break-even trade on that went just enough to get a break-even. Break-even trade on that, again, just enough to get a break-even. So look at that. 5 break-even trades right in a row right there. Oh, wait, there was one right here. I got some profit on this one. I got 1 tick profit on that one. Okay, then some more break-evens. Then I got 2 ticks profit on that to get me to +3, then 4 ticks profit on that to get me to +7, and then we got the goal for the day with the ES trade. Then I stopped out right after that. I stopped out here. That put me to -13. And then I had a break-even trade there. You see the blue arrows are doing just fine through here. Okay, blue arrows. If you only did the blue arrows, they were doing just fine through there, all the way through there. Okay. Apparently I didn't write down all the other trades that I did, but I went from -13 to +9, so I got 20. It was toward the end of the session. I remember I took one and I said, this is going to be 30 ticks is what I said, and I trailed my stop to +20. I don't know where it was exactly, but it was a long trade. I want to say it was a long trade. And I ended up with +20 ticks. But anyway, I got a +20, and then or was it more? I went from -13. I'm sorry, I went from -13 to -9. So I got a +4 somewhere. Yeah, +4. And then I went from -9 to +5. So I got a +16. It wasn't, or 14 or something like that. Anyway, I ended up with +5. I thought it was a +20, but maybe not. Anyway, maybe I didn't write it down. That could be the case. I could be better off than what I thought. But during the break, there were some blue arrows right here. They would have given me a decent trade. Blue arrows right here, decent trade, and then absolutely nothing. So I don't know, in the live stream they're going to be doing here in 1 minute, I don't know if we're going to have anything to trade, so Russell's moving. Well, it's giving us a trade setup, possibly. But anyway, that's how we ended it. I'm just going to start the live stream up right now because we only have about 30 seconds left before that starts anyway. And then I'll get into everything else. Okay. So the live stream is beginning right now. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Is anybody out here watching this right now who is on the trial? If you guys have any questions, you need to get a hold of me. Anybody out here right now needs to get a hold of me. Now is the time. Okay. The crude oil looks like it's pulling back right here. Let's just switch to gold for a second, see what gold's doing. Okay. I don't know if gold is in the weekly trading zone or not, but let's just take a look. Gold, we rolled to the M contract, right? So we're on the M on gold. Let's see what we missed today, if anything, on gold. Nice green arrow right there recently. Let's look what it did this morning now. Right, so there was a lot more movement on gold than it was on crude. Let's see how we would have done here with the gold if we just took the blue arrows. Let's just say we just did the blue arrows with the gold. So I wouldn't have started anything until right here. And there's a chance I would have stopped that on that first one and then probably gotten it back on the second one. And we would have gotten some profit there. And this is starting to break. Oh, I do? Okay. How do I deal with the Russell outside the bands when the arrow pairs? Gold will have different weekly trading zones and count, right? Yeah, the gold does. Let me show you. Let me start with the answer to your second question because that's a solid answer. That is a distinct answer that I can give to you and just show you. Here they are, right here. These are the these are the weekly trading zones right here. So this is crude oil and this is gold. These are the gold zones. Now this morning I swapped when I did the gold. When I swapped over to the crude this morning, I did swap the weekly trading zones over too. But you can do, if you want to just swap them back like this, Mike, if you want to just swap them back like this, you can have 2 of these going like this and 1 of them like this. You can have the sensitivity set for the gold, well, it's the same sensitivity for gold and crude, but if you had like 0.01 is a sensitivity, but the weekly trading zones, these are the zones for gold right here. Okay, and gold has a 4 count. So that's what gold zones should look like. And oops, if I shut that off, then you just have it. Well, I'm sorry, I don't have everything on there, but these are what the gold zones look like right here. Okay. And if I wanted to go with the crude zones, these are what crude zones look like wherever they are. I just don't see them, but they're on there somewhere. I think I'm pretty sure I put them on there properly this one. Yeah, these are the crude zones. See, the count is different and the zones are different. The sensitivity is the same though. So that's what you can do. Yes, yeah, that, I'm sorry, you are right about that. This is on the, no, the M contract is correct for the one of them just rolled, right? For the crude, we should be on, the K contract. And for the gold, we should be on the M. Yeah, gold, we should be on the M. And the crude, we should be on the K contract. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. On Telegram, it says J because when the zones were published on Monday and rolled yet, it wasn't time to roll. Well, yeah, Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. It wasn't time to roll there. Okay, so the other question was, thank you for asking questions because I was afraid I was going to have nothing to do in this period here. Look at no trade zones here. The other question was on the Russell. And let me make sure I understand the question. It was, how do I deal with the Russell outside the bands when the arrows appear? Outside the bands. Do you mean like all these black arrows right here? Is that what you mean? You know, if I were to go in here, let's just shut something off in here. Hang on. Let's get rid of some things. Yeah, that's what I figured. Let's get rid of some things on here. I can leave the target table on the chart, but let's get rid of some other things. And I click over here, that should get rid of those lines. No, those are lines that I drew in. Okay, so let me just highlight those lines or remove 18 drawings. Okay. So we're outside the bands like this, the outer bands, and you're outside the context and all that stuff. Think of it like this, all right? The things that you're really interested in as far as bands go, you're interested in these outer ones only to give you trend, only to give you a trend direction, all right? So if we put that one on and that one on, all right, then that's what matters up there. On the bottom, that doesn't matter. And you can get rid of your context if you want. The context that matters is the red context right there. When you're short, when you're going down, you're in a downtrend, the red context is the other one that matters. Okay, so when it gets down like this, and you get these black arrows, the black arrows happen because you came out of the overbought and you did not hit the ribbon, right? You're in a downtrend, you came out of the overbought, you did not hit the ribbon. That's why the black arrows happen. On every black arrow, the thing to assess is how far away from the swing low are you? From there to there, from there to there, from here to here, from here to here. This is a potential one right here, right? From here to here, that's another potential one. That one, same thing. The risk reward ratio every time you get into a trade, it should start bouncing once it gets to the swing low. That's a good target on every single trade, and it's a good position for you to consider that it should bounce off of to begin with. Okay, so if on a black arrow you don't have any space right here, your risk on this is the Russell, your risk is going to be 10 ticks. If you don't have 10 ticks from here to here, or 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 here to here, then just skip it. Wait for a deeper pullback. Get something like this. And if you get a green arrow or a blue arrow, you don't have 10 ticks from here to here, then you're likely in some pretty tight chop, and the outer bands are probably flat. So, you know, the trade setup is just not going to give you an opportunity to trade if you're following the rules. You just won't have an opportunity to trade in there. I mean, these black arrows are going to trigger every time you come out of the overbought. If you're in a downtrend, these black arrows are going to trigger. As long as you're not touch ribbon, you're going to get a black arrow. That's how I handle it. Okay. But when you get a black arrow like this one over here, for instance, you know, your entry points right here, we'll say, hang on, your entry points right here, we'll say at 58.7, and you know where that's going to be because you know these are range bars. You know where the bottom of the bar is going to be, so you know where the top of the bar is going to be. So you know ahead of time where that's going to be. You also know ahead of time where the swing high is. So you know if you're going to have, you know, you can also look at, do I have enough room to move my stop to break even, which is what I do when I'm going into zones. Do I have enough room between the entry and the zone to get my stop to break even? But if you're taking a black arrow like this, you want to have some room to run for it. You know, a lot of times you're gonna get ones like this that still run anyway, but a lot of times they're gonna be just like this, where they hit the swing low and they'll just bounce back. That's my rule. My rule. Now, in the meeting we had yesterday, we went over this, right? This stuff right here, where this blue arrow did not put in a lower swing, so you're not interested in this green arrow at all. Right? Remember that yesterday? We went over that. But that's how I look at it. The outer bands, when you're looking at the outer bands, they're only there to give you the trend. Right? They're not like Bollinger Bands, and they're not like Keltner channels or anything like that. They're there to help you establish what the trend is. Okay, so it doesn't matter what the colors are. It doesn't matter that it's in out of these bands, these outer ones. The important ones are the ones in the middle, and these are just there to show you the trend. You know, like all week we've been showing you on like DT Pro and NinjaTrader. Let me show you on DT Pro and NinjaTrader. And we'll go to a 7-tick range. This is the Russell, but we'll do it on the ES. On DT Pro and NinjaTrader, this was yesterday. You have to draw trend lines like that when you're in a trend to qualify the trade. All right. You have to draw trend lines to establish whether you're in a trend at all. Like right here, would you say you're in an uptrend right here? Or would you think you're in a downtrend? Or right here, would you think you're in a downtrend? Or would you think you're in an uptrend? You know, you'd have to draw these trend lines like this to really try to figure out what kind of a trend you're in. And then where does that change? When it drops down here, does that change it? Does that change it to a downtrend now? You know, do you start looking for shorts? And then when it flips back right over here, does this change it to a long, to a bullish trend right here? That's kind of flat right there. Now, do you start thinking longs? At what point do you start doing that? That's what it used to be like in the old days. Okay, that's what it used to be like. For a DT Pro and NinjaTrader, that's what it still is like, if that's what you want to trade with. And I mean, and that's great. There's a lot of ambiguity in there, but it worked for us for 10 years. You know, the spreadsheet that we show you, this spreadsheet that we show you right here, from the beginning of the spreadsheet, January 2nd of 2013, up until the beginning of January 2023, the results in the spreadsheet are doing that. All right, what I just showed you there with DT Pro, results in the spreadsheet are figuring out what kind of a trend you're in like that. So there was a lot of ambiguity in there. And you can see from 2023 on, where we took that out by giving you the outer bands right here. We got rid of the need of the slingshot to establish a trend too, because that was another thing that we used to use to help establish a trend, was down here in the slingshot. The cycle was your long-term trend, right? If that's blue and going up, you're in a long trend. If it's red and going down, you're in a short trend. So, you know, we had all these tools that we had to use before, and there was ambiguity built into it. So when we moved to TradingView, and I wrote it in here, all this stuff for TradingView, we got rid of all that stuff. So now when the outer bands are spreading going down, you know you're in a downtrend. When it's spreading going up, you know you're in an uptrend. When they're flat, you're not trading. You're going to be in a no trade zone. We actually have a visible no trade zone for you to not trade anymore. And down here, the slingshot doesn't have trend in it anymore. The slingshot is only used to give you the arrows. If you weren't using the arrows, there's no reason to have the slingshot. That's all it's for, is to give you the arrows. It's the final thing that triggers an arrow, right? If you get in a downtrend and you come out of the overbought, you're going to get an arrow. If you're in an uptrend and you come out of the oversold, you're going to get an arrow. What color and what kind of arrow it is depends on how far back price pulls. That is the way it is. See, like right here, this would have stopped me out if I had taken it. And I would have probably. It would have stopped me out, then I would have skipped the green one, but now we have a lower swing. So right now what we're looking for is a pullback into the ribbon, okay? we're oversold here, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is, does it get to overbought when it pulls back? Okay, so when you're in a downtrend, this is all you need to see right here. That's all you need to have on your chart. And when you're in an uptrend, you'd have the green stuff on the bottom. And, if you're just doing the blue arrows, which, in the beginning, I recommend people just learn you only got to learn one thing. You don't have to learn the black arrows. You don't have to learn the green arrows. Just learn the blue arrows. Blue arrows do enough all by themselves. If you took this one trade, that's the goal for the day. Right? If you took that, you got to break even. If you took that, that's pretty close to the goal. If you took both of those, you might have had the goal. If you took this one, that's pretty close to the goal. You took this one, you stopped out. You took that one, you stopped out. That we wouldn't have taken because it's going into a zone. This one you might have taken. But going back to the morning, and this is on the run. So this one right here, if you took this one, this is at 9 a.m. You wouldn't have been taking any of this stuff, but you wouldn't have taken that going into the zone. You could have taken that going to reaching the zone for a target, taking that for a short, trying to get down to the prior swing low. You just have to learn one thing to begin with. And if you want it to be the green arrows, you can set it up in here so that if you go in here to inputs and you go to green only, it was supposed to only give you the green arrows.
Good time. Hitch has some questions for you.
Okay. Who has questions? Oh, Hitch in there.
Hitch.
Okay, Hitch. Okay.
I've answered them mostly,
okay.
but you can give your opinion as well.
Okay. Some of the streams, but they had problems recently. I hope they come back fixed. Why? Thanks, Hitch. They say they're going to do something. And a correction on Mr. Yeah, I was really expecting a correction on Mr. I think I gave some numbers where I thought it was going to go down to too. Let's see. I thought it was going to be, and it was looking like it was going to have a nice healthy one, is what it was looking like. But let's see. Let's see what done, and then yeah, this is a nice healthy correction. This is on a 1 minute chart though. Let's go to a daily. Yeah, I think it's going to go further than that. What I'm looking at right here, it's pretty close right here. This is pretty close, given the run up that it's had. This is pretty close to as far as it should go. Okay. Here, let's do this. We'll draw this. I was thinking right about here. Pretty close is what I said. It's almost right there. That should go down to 1635. Okay. This is, I mean, if you have the right stuff and you short equities, you have opportunity to trade both ways with this. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing again. I choose that chart and this chart, and then put this on Mr. Now, those of you guys that were watching at the beginning of the week, when I said to buy options on Monday, buy options on Monday. I said buy options that were good out to the middle of next week. Is what I was saying. The middle of next week, good to the 3rd is what I was looking at. I didn't put it in the option channel. I'm sorry, I've had a lot going on this week. I didn't put it in our option channel for the passport holders, but yeah. And Jack, I don't know if Jack's typing anything in there recently. He texted me yesterday. He's on a little bit of a break right now. But this, I want to look at this on. This is a 5 minute. Let's look at it on a 30 minute, and let's put it on Mr. STR. Okay, I'm sorry, I just jumped everything you were asking there, Mike. Is it true that some market symbols between DTP differ between DT Pro and TradingView? Symbols? I'm not sure the symbols differ, but the values may differ a little bit. It depends what you're looking at, what markets you're looking at, Joan. All right, so on the 30 minute, we had a long back here on Mr. back here. And is this today? This is today. 10:30 this morning, we had a short issue right here on this. The short was right here. The risk reward on that, 3 risk reward, 3 to 1 risk reward. That's a good short right there. And what were the targets on? The first target was 1503.3. So it's not showing targets to way down here. Okay. Now, if we look at that, go back to a daily here, and one daily on this, it's not going to issue anything. I'm going to issue a long trade back here, February 8th of this year. I issued a long trade back here at 584 was the last long trade. But I'm still looking at probably 1600, 1635 on a pullback here. And if it does do that, it may put a pivot up here. I don't think it's going to. We don't have enough bars here, the way that it's set up, to actually draw a pivot up here at the top yet. But on the daily chart, it still hasn't given a reason to go short. It's still thinking it's bullish. But if you go to the 30-minute chart, the 30-minute pretty much nailed it right here. Okay. Hitch. And yeah, this is a great time. I would think right down here in the 1600 level. If you trade options, right down here in the 1600 level, I would think would be a good time to start buying some calls. A lot's going to happen over the next couple of days. I mean, remember, let's just mark this spot in the chart right here somehow, and we'll come back to this. I'm going to mark it with a happy face right here. We'll come back to this next week. Okay. It may not do anything the rest of the day today, but by Wednesday next week, I expect we're going to see a big difference from where it is right now. Okay. I did. I think I answered it. Yeah. The actual symbols. Well, I mean, actually, the symbols kind of not between DT pre and TradingView. Yeah. Some of them do, but yeah, there's an extra G. Yeah. Crude TradingView CLM 2024. Yeah, this you're talking about the. Let's go here. I'll show you. Like right here, it's GCM. GCM is what we have on this. Let me blow it up so it's not covered up by the table. GCM 2024 is gold, and it's GGCM on DT. Okay, if I bring my DOM up, wherever it is. Oh, I switched it to the other one. Well, it's GGCM. Yeah, there's an extra G in there. So that is true. And with NinjaTrader, of course, you put in the actual month. So it would be, GC June GC or GC 2024, June 2024 GC, something like that is what it is for NinjaTrader. Okay. I'm glad you guys are asking questions because I thought I was just going to be sitting here watching the markets do nothing this whole session. Thank you for that. Chris, did I answer all your questions? Mike, did I answer all your questions? Chris, actually, I thought of Chris because he just emailed me a question. He's not in here. Okay, so I didn't get to answer his question to him directly. And Mike, did I answer all your questions? I think I did. And Joan, I got yours. Hitch, NKLA plus 50% in 4 days. You want to see what it looks like here? Hitch. Yeah, we'll look at that too. DJT and let's look at the NKLA while Hitch is still watching. Nicola. Sorry. Okay, so the 30 minute had a long back here on the 20th of March. It had a long way back here. And I think it's hit every target, right? The long was back here at 62.5 cents, and the fifth target was 72.49. So it's hit every single target it's had. That's on a 30 minute. If we go to a 1 minute, let's see what it did. It's a whole bunch. It's such a small. It's got no volatility in it, so it's not going to have anything like that. You got to stay on like a 30 minute for that. You could try it on a range bar, but it's a penny stock, so it's not really going to give you anything for a range bar. Or a penny stock is, every tick up and down is 1 cent. So if you go back to the 30 minute on that, Give you a long trade back here, and the stop on that was 2 cents. So for a buy, you have a buy back here at 62.59 with the stop at 61.16, and looks like a pretty good opportunity right there, right? Well, yeah, if you trade this, you know, it's a gamble. You know, I've had friends that bought things like Schick when Schick was 10 cents and went up to $42. I bought stuff in the pennies. Dwayne, I know back in the day, has bought stuff in the pennies that have gone up over $1. I know we've both done that in the past. But anyway, let's look at DJT. This one, and see what that is today. Okay, so it sold off some. Now we had, this is a 30-minute, but I think it had triggered a buy on the 5-minute a couple days ago. Well, we had suggested the buy on Monday, I think, or whatever it was. Was it Monday? We had said that, right? On this, I think it was. Anyway, this is a 5-minute, and so far in the 5-minute today is pretty bouncy here, but gave a long right here that went just a little ways, gave a short right here, and the short right here did really well. Of course, you're not really going to short equities, but this is when it's done on a 5-minute. Let's put it on a 30-minute though. Okay, it really doesn't have a lot to work with here on the 30 minutes, so I got a couple of days worth of data. So that was the DJT. And so the NQ is what you're looking at, you see. Like, let's look at the NQ. This says right here on the DJT, yeah, of this move, this whole move, right? Well, this last move right here, even it's 50% right now. It's a good bouncing point. And over this long weekend, you know, I think we're going to see more. Well, yeah, I don't know. There's ways to deal with that. You know, I'm sure Trump probably can't do directly, but he can have other people do, you know, and kind of hedge it all. Yep. Way back. All right, so here's your APD hitch. It had a buy back here at 239.88.50, 239.89, and it had a $3 stop on it. And from 239.89, the first target was 240. We've hit that. The second target was 248. It hasn't hit the second target yet. So 248's up here. This is your second target over here. Okay, but it hit the first target. So the risk reward on that wasn't too great though, because the first target was pretty close. Okay, so the risk reward was that. If you take out that, and the risk reward gets magnified by, you know, multiples, many multiples. Reward risk. It's actually reward risk because I put the reward first. Could do risk reward, but then it would be the other way around. You know, you're actually dividing the reward by the risk. That's why it's reward to risk. All right. More stuff. You want to see this on any other time frame? We'll put it on the 5-minute and see what it looks like on the 5-minute. Still, well, Still bullish here. It's not really giving you any kind of a signal, but it's still pretty bullish. I'll go back to a 30-minute here, and the next target's all the way up here at 48.87. May not get there directly, but should get there. And the NQ, let's look at the NQ on a 15 range. In here, Mike S. The NQ just gave a long right here on the 15 range using this. The last long didn't really go too far, but this one's gone enough. You might want to get that stop to break even if you did take it. Actually, no, it belongs from right here. So it still hasn't gone enough to get the stop to break even. Now the stop on this here, it's not an automatic 20 ticks in here. It's, you know, it's going to be the bar before. So it's actually, this one's 5.25 points. This would be 21 ticks. The stop would be. Okay, and if you look at it on the bigger picture, 30-minute, it's got a whole bunch of sideways up here. It's still suggesting it's going to go down from where it is. You know, 1-minute chart's probably bearish once it paints. Yeah, the 1-minute chart had a short back here, short in here. You see how you get these things going back and forth like that, back and forth in direction. That's what I created this thing for. This enable the bias level. That will remove those things. You see how it only gives shorts right through here now. It doesn't give you any of those longs because the overall direction is bearish right here. And this, I created this, and I think I actually, did I put it in here? I did right here. I actually put it in here. Enable the bias level above or below. I'm sorry. I thought I put in, this is primarily for people trading futures and Forex. I know I wrote that somewhere, but it's primarily from people trading futures and Forex. And if you turn that on, because with equities, you probably don't even have the shorts going. You probably only have longs going, right? You wouldn't even have the shorts on. So you can just get these long trades right here with equities, not with futures. And I mean, you can still use it with equities too, if you want to make sure that you're in some sort of a trend. And I just put 55 in there because that's a fib number. All right, it's just a Fibonacci number that I put in there. It's, you know, you can change this to whatever. The next Fibonacci number up, I think, is 89, and then one after that's 144, and then 233, and then 337 or something like that. But I just threw in a fib number there. Okay. Sai received an email from Trading, and it says there is Easter discount going on 70% off. Is this real? It's a real thing. Yeah, they do it a couple times a year. Take advantage of that. You got to do, you got to sign up for the annual for it. But yeah, definitely take advantage of that. I do it every year.
And we also have a holiday special to become a member.
Yes, we also have a holiday special to become a member. And
our little canoe club.
I sent out that yesterday. Yes, in our club. I sent that out yesterday, and I'll send out another one today. Do a little bit extra Easter bonus added to it. But yeah, take advantage of that. They do it like 2 or 3 times a year. They do the 70% off sale.
Where does a person need to navigate to take advantage of that?
Well, there's a couple ways, but because I'm all logged in with it, I don't know if it's going to go directly there. But if you go here to
probably
go to
pricing
trades,
I'm gonna click on
yeah,
price.
let me refresh this. Go here to getting charts from TradingView trades.
Essential plus premium.
Click right here, TradingView charts, and here. Right. This is not showing the sale right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not seeing the.
Yeah, well, you must have gotten an email. Go to it directly from your email.
Yeah. Use that link.
This is.
In fact, email us the link. support@cfrn.net, please, and thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I just disconnected the session by accident. There. Okay, we're going again. When I logged into this page right here, it disconnected me over there. But this is one way to get to it right here. If you go to TradingView trades or TargetView trades, and you click on where was it? It was up here, getting charts up here. Click on that. That will get you to that. Or you can just email us. You can also, I think, down in the in the section down below our in our signature field that's in this actual session that we're doing right now in the live stream, I think the thing down there you can just click on. Yeah, we do right down there. It's
okay.
this.
Then I shall go
We
there.
have a thing down there you can click on.
Where
Right
it
here.
says share your love.
That one. Share your love. Yeah, share your love.
Share the
CFRN.
love.
You can click on that one down there.
Okay.
Now I don't know if that's going to give you the 70% off deal.
It
Might not.
It does not.
Okay. So then you don't. If you have an email that has the 70% off, just
yeah.
use that. Absolutely.
Yeah, share that love. Send that link to support at
Yeah.
cfrn.net. I don't know how
We'll
far
share it
I've
with
paid out
everybody else.
into the future, but I know I took advantage
Well,
of
what it does, if you already have a subscription, it'll add what you currently have onto the end of that.
Right.
Let's say you pay for a year on that.
Mm-hmm.
It'll get a year plus whatever you have left on your current subscription. That's
I
what
think
they
I'm
do.
about a year out into the future at this point.
I think the last time we did it, when we did ours, we did the last time they had a sale. It was in November. Pretty sure.
And I think I did it for my own TradingView account, CFRN2.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we did both those, and then I did my other one too. All right, I've gone over. It's 1:33. I've gone over. I'm sorry, guys. Does anybody have any questions? Are there any questions?
Guess what?
That I have not answered.
You see that?
What?
Look in the John H. and Kenneth both posted the link.
Oh, they just okay. Here, I'll post it right here.
Take you to the Easter 2024 special.
Okay. I'll stick it right here. Paste. Enter. Both of you guys sent that. There's. Yeah, it's got 3 days left in it. Yeah, this is an awesome deal. Do it. This is great. If you can get either one of these.
Now that's
for that price
annually.
That's great.
So
yeah, this is on annually. If you get to monthly, it's still a little bit of a discount. Yeah, if you do it monthly, it's still a little bit of a discount. I mean, it's a pretty good discount still, but the annually is the great discount. Okay, and it's worth doing it for the annually. For a couple $100. This is with 4 charts. If you want to have 4 charts, then do this. This is with 2 charts. If you only use 2 charts, then do this. But it's a great deal, and the differences in here between 2 and 4 charts for us. I use 4 charts all the time, and I use sometimes I use 6 or 7 charts. So this is what we need. We need the premium because we do live streams and all that. You need the premium to be able to do a live stream. The plus, if you just want 4 charts, then the plus is fine. And if you just use 2 charts, then this is fine. The essential line. You get everything that we have with it. The thing that you don't get is in here, the alerts don't expire with the premium, where the alerts do expire here. And what that means is the alerts that you set in here on your, if you're using our TV trades, then we have all these alerts over here. They do expire, whereas they don't expire if you have the premium package. But that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal at all. What was I looking at?
A window of opportunity will typically fill multiple times. So
yes,
it's a little off topic with what you're talking about, but
I've really gone over now.
Okay,
this is the second time.
I'll take it whenever you're ready.
Thanks. Okay,
well,
let's just go back here and see if we missed any trades.
Okay.
Did I take any trades? I don't even know if I took any trades.
I don't think so.
This session. I don't think so either. I think I talked right through it because people were asking questions. They were good questions, though. Thank you for the questions. It looks like we missed a trade right there that we could have taken, and that's the only one. And that's on the Russell. Now, Mike S., that would have been the one right here. Right here, it didn't come out of the overbought, so you didn't have any kind of an arrow, but it hit the ribbon in a downtrend. So that's the kind of trade that we were talking about the other day. It's a guaranteed trade. When it hits the ribbon in a downtrend, doesn't matter what the slingshot's doing. Okay, if you're coming off a lower swing, you're downtrend, and it hits the ribbon, you have a trade. So that's the equivalent of a blue arrow, just without the arrow showing.
Wow, that premium price that you showed with the Easter special was like $240.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the regular premium yearly price, it's $600, $599.40.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
the premium right here.
that's
It's
a
a huge
significant
difference.
savings.
Yeah, 2 more cents. 2 more cents right here. It's a huge difference. And the fact that they offer this to you again and again is awesome because, I mean, you see this right here and you say, oh, wow, okay, well, at the end of the year, there's a huge difference. I'm going to have to pay all this. Well, they're going to have another sale next year and offer the same thing. They just extend it. So take advantage of it while you can. I would take the premium. If you're going to do the plus, do the premium.
What you don't want to do
You
is
can always downgrade later.
unexpectedly get whacked with that higher price. So,
Right. And so, if you're only doing 4 of them, you can get the premium right now if you want. If you need the premium, you don't really need everything the premium gives. So, they may try and get people to do this so they can whack them in a year if they don't pay attention. If you don't need the stuff the premium has, then don't get the premium. But it is a huge difference in price. I mean, both of them are a huge difference in price. We do it every time. Like, we could do this again right now just so it kicks ours out another year.
yeah. Show the good folks one more time how to take the trial and let them know that they turn their 5-day free trial into 8 days if they sign up today.
Yes.
Because they'll get
That
tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday.
Free trial today.
Some markets never sleep.
If you sign up for the free trial today, those of you guys that are watching the live stream, you're only hearing half of this. You might not be hearing any of it right now.
Yeah,
if you're watching the live stream, you're
even
only hearing
going?
half of this.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Yep. If you're watching the live stream, if you sign up now, your 5-day free trial turns into an 8-day free trial because you get today, tomorrow, the weekend, and then all of next week. So if you want to take a free trial, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple thing. There's no credit card required for the trial. Click on that. It's going to bring you to this registration page, which will actually have a new registration page by the end of the day. But you can click on this one and it'll include you for next week as well. All right. It'll get you, when you do that, down at the bottom, make sure you give us your TradingView login ID. All right. I had somebody that was in here yesterday that was asking questions, good questions in the live chat yesterday, and they signed up for the trial and they didn't give the TradingView login ID. I had to go back and get the login ID from the meeting that we had. Make sure you give us the TradingView login ID. Okay. So you can enable the indicators for you.
And remember, guys, free trial is a misnomer because it's free to you, but it ain't free to us. It costs us our time, our energy, our resources, our finances to create a spot and to spend time with you to make sure that you understand everything that's happening in the trial. So while we want you to have a clear head, so at the end of the 5 consecutive trading days, you can make a well-informed and intelligent decision whether or not trading is right for you.
All right. And with that, I can pass it back out. Fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, and Studio A overlooks South Mountain, America's largest city park. Okay. And here we go.
There it is.
All right. And you're going to ask me
and I'm going to ask you
which,
about the recap of the morning session.
Today, it took 36 minutes and 9 trades to get to $1,837.50.
Great way to end the week. There was something else I was going to mention to you.
And mention to everybody who's in here about the partners meeting.
No partners meeting tonight.
Yes.
We're just taking the night off. But there was something else. What the heck was it? I guess it wasn't really important, or I wouldn't have forgot it. Was it one of these news pieces that I shared? I shared a couple of news things.
Yeah,
oh yeah. Okay. Now here's the ultimate in stupidity. I don't want to be too harsh, but the U.S. just purchased 2.8 million barrels of crude for the nation's emergency oil cache as it seeks to replenish depleted supplies. Which might lead you to ask, why are our supplies depleted? Because Joe sold it to the Chinese.
Yep.
No,
yep.
Not casting any judgments. I don't sit in the Oval Office.
We actually we produce more oil than any other country in the world right now.
Well, no, we
Just
could.
this past month.
We could if
We did.
Oh, we did. Did
We actually
Biden
did
uncap
this past
something?
month. Yeah. Yeah, this
Oh,
past month.
oh, of course we're running into the election. Of course, we're going to see all kinds of crazy things. The Energy Department has slowly been refilling the Strategic Petroleum Reserve after it reached a 40-year low, following the Biden administration's unprecedented drawdown in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In 2022, the Biden administration ordered the release of a record 180 million barrels from the emergency oil supply in the face of surging retail gasoline costs. Now, even as pump prices are back on the rise, the DOE has, Department of Energy, committed to refilling the cache, with the enormous storage caverns still sitting about half empty. The Energy Department has paid an average price of under $77 per barrel, below the average price of $95 it sold it for in 2022, the agency said in a statement. Yeah, I'd like to see those. I'd like to see that. But anyway. Okay, well, I know you got things to do. Wish you and yours a happy Good Friday.
Yes, I wish
a solemn Saturday.
you and yours stay happy, healthy.
Yep.
Good weekend.
All right, buddy.
You guys all take care.
You too.
And if you need me, you have all my contacts.
Don't forget, guys, if you've been on the
Right.
trial and you want to become part of our family, okay, you need to take advantage of this holiday special. Reach out to Michael, tech at cfrn.net, support at cfrn.net. Call us, 949-42-EMINI. We'll be happy to oblige. All right, we left off with the ES. We pulled back to the BBC. We already discussed all this. The BBC holds more often than not. And yes, we hit the long target. There was never any reason to consider the short target. Why? Because price never traded below this zone. It spiked it a little bit, but we never traded below it. So that's that. Remember, when price rises to a zone, expect support till proven otherwise. Price drops to a zone, we expect resistance when we rise, support when we drop. All right, the Dow. Here's where we opened last night. From the open at 6 p.m. Eastern until 4 a.m. Eastern. It's a long time. Look at all that consolidation. Now remember, at the beginning of the broadcast and every day, I tell you that 70% of the time, when price reaches a weekly trading zone, you're going to get consolidation. 70% of the time. 20% of the time, you'll get rejection. That's what rejection looks like. Okay? Now, when price slices through a zone like it's not even there on the 30-minute chart, price will typically retrace back to the zone it sliced through and continue in the direction of the slice. It retraced, consolidated, continued in the direction of the slice. Over and over again and again. That's how it rolls. Now, because we stayed above the BBC the whole time, there was no reason to concern yourself with the short side. You would have needed to see price get below these lows here, get down into this area, and then it would have been good shorting down to the zone. And then if we got through the zone, then down to the short target. I'm really trying to impress upon everyone over the last few weeks with the way I've been doing the logic alerts and the way I've been explaining things to you here. Whatever markets you trade, do your work ahead of time, okay? Identify on your 30-minute chart where there are valid windows of opportunity. Okay? Go ahead and get everything ready to go. And then when price actually gets to the window, then just do what Michael teaches you how to do every morning in the live training room. So how would you do that from here? Let me show you. Okay. Now, this swing high right here is 41.84. But I want price to really prove itself. This is 40, what's the high again? 41.84. Yeah, I want to bump that up to about 4,200. Okay. 4,200 to 42.22. That's your goal for the day. And you want to be out before you get to an area that you know is obviously resistance. Why is it resistance? Well, when price got to 42.35, not one trader on planet Earth was willing to pay one tick more. That's a pretty good line in the sand. Okay. That resistance sent us all the way back to the BBC and the weekly trading zone. Now again, these zones were published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. They've been published every week for our members since December 14th of 2009. I said it earlier, I'll say it again. If all you had were the weekly zones and the BBC, you could do just fine. But we have a few other things here to help you out. Okay. Now, that covers the long. Okay, so we've done the long work. All right. So we know we got potential support here. You see how these lows line up with this low? That's definitely support. So we want to come down a little ways below that. So like, oh, maybe 4,080. $4,080. Now, I like to be conservative. Okay. Really, this area here, I'm not that concerned about that area, but it is a point. Okay, because look, price ran up and then it sold off the high, but then it continued. So it's kind of a nothing burger. But let's look over here. From 4,080 to 4,020, that's 60 points. At $5 a point, that's $300 per contract traded. If you've earned the right to trade 10 contracts, that's $3 grand right there. That's your goal for the day. That's your goal for 3 days. Okay. Now, what if price were to start coming down? So here, let me make my point. So now let's just say I trade the Dow, but I don't. I trade other markets. So I can go through each one of the charts and I can draw my windows of opportunity. And then I don't have to do anything except be patient, not get caught up in the noise, and let price either reach this entry or this entry. And because of the way I have my charts tabbed, I can do it for every market. Outline the window above, outline the window below, and then remember, you only need one trade that gets you your goal for the day. Sometimes you don't get it in one trade. Sometimes it takes multiple trades because you could get stopped out once, twice, 3 times. If you get stopped out more than twice in the same market, you probably need to go to a larger time frame and see what's really going on. Okay, because you're up against something that you can't see in the current time frame you're in. Okay. So we hit our long target, pulled back to the BBC. We found resistance, went looking for support, found support, and made another run to the target. Right now, prices got resistance overhead, support below, support here, support here. Now, it's such a quiet sideways pre-holiday Thursday, we may never encounter either one of these windows of opportunity. But on a normal day, I would say by the time we talk tomorrow, one of these boxes will have filled. But I won't talk to you again until, well, as the markets open Sunday night, there will be alerts, and there will be, of course, weekly trading zones Monday morning. I think Globex is going to open Sunday night. Keep in mind, all the European markets are closed Monday for the banking holiday. So it's probably going to be a little light in the saddle. Because we won't have the European complement that we normally have. Okay, so we did the ES, we did the Dow. Let's do the Russell. Russell. Okay. Now, here's where the market opened last night. We got red and falling. Pull back to the BBC. Pull back holds. When? More often than not. So we made a nice run. But once we hit 2161.80, no trader on planet Earth, retail or institution, was willing to pay 2161.90. If they had been willing, then that would be the high of the day. But they weren't, so it's not. It's 61.80. Step line cross. Now on the way up, I want you to really tune into this, okay? I call it the perfect stack. Price, step line, blue and climbing, BBC. And as long as you've got that perfect stack, there's no reason. Now, okay, before I say that, let me say this. The simple ways is just get your goal for the day, have the discipline to put the mouse away. But if you find you don't have that kind of discipline, or you can't develop that kind of discipline, and you want to do it the hard way, there's no reason to exit this trade until the step line crosses. Okay. Once the step line crosses, what do we expect? Price to retrace to the BBC. Now we know the pullback holds more often than not. Does that mean we know it's going to hold this time? No. It holds more often than it doesn't. We don't have crystal balls, so we don't know what's going to happen. You just have to be patient, okay? Now, once we hit the BBC, we could consolidate for a while. It's possible you could have a little window of opportunity here, okay? But see, this is going to become a potential obstacle. When the step line gets directly above price, see how it was our friend on the way up when it was on the left side of blue and climbing? But that dynamic's changed. It's no longer our friend for a long trade. It represents potential resistance. If price gets above the step line, then blue and climbing is potential resistance. So it's really hard to speculate here, but you could go ahead and draw that window. But then as the trade comes together, you might go, see, by the time, if we consolidate a little bit at the BBC, the step line is going to drop. And if that step line drops into that window, you don't want nothing to do with that. And Blue and climbing will become red and falling and follow it down. Which means then your window of opportunity will be up here. From 2158 to 2160. You know what? Let's do it. Let's go 2161. All right, you can see I'm trying to get it at 2161. Probably just overshot it. It's pretty close. What's the high of this candle? 2060.90? Well, I don't like that. You see what I'm trying to do here? When you got to work that hard to find a window of opportunity, let's go look at a different market. We trade every market the same. I hear people all the time go, I only trade the ES. Why? Well, I don't know. I was told that's what I was supposed to do. Okay. We trade every market exactly the same. Exactly. We don't change anything. When we go from gold to crude, to the ES, to the NQ, we don't change. Now, on the NQ, Michael does use a 15-tick range for his trigger, but I use the same 30-minute chart. That's my roadmap. That's where you find your windows of opportunity, not on the range chart. Okay. So what if price comes down and it doesn't hold? And what if the weekly trading zone doesn't hold? Well, you see that wick? That's potential support. You really got to come down to about 2140 to 2138. 2140. See the low of this candle is 37.8. So 2140 to 2138. Okay. Goal for the day. Now, keep in mind that price may not find support here, and it may keep dropping. If there's no reason to get out of the trade, well, again, back to, you want to do it the simple way or the hard way. The simple way is get your goal for the day, put the mouse away. But I know that many of you, especially newer traders, you're fascinated by it all, and you just want to trade. Okay? The market will cure you of that habit soon enough. Just don't let it take all your money before you actually learn how to trade. I've heard that story so many times over the years. Man, I finally learned how to trade, but now I've blown up the 30 grand I had for trading. That's a tough situation to be in. Okay. All right, NQ. More flat sideways. Nothing. Which is unusual, really, for the NQ, because it's typically pretty volatile. Yesterday, see how price dropped to the zone, we consolidated, and then we come up to the zone and find resistance. Then we opened last night and pulled back to the BBC, but bang, resistance, because blue and climbing had gotten directly above price. Now, I will say this. This candle opened at 18,480 and ran up to 503. That's 20 plus points at $20 a point. That one candle is worth $400 per contract traded. Once you've earned the right to trade 10 contracts, that's a $4,000 candle. Don't put the cart before the horse. You got to start out in demo. You got to put together 10 consecutive days in a row. You've got to follow the 24-20 blue. Well, you don't got to. You can do anything you want. But when you're sick and tired of blowing up accounts and wasting money on nonsense, and you really want to learn how to trade, then listen up. We've had lots of members who they become a member, but they don't really do the work. They don't always show up, and they don't ask a lot of questions. They just drift away. And then all of a sudden, they pop back up. Dang, man, it's been 2 years since I saw you. What's up? Oh, man, you don't even want to know. No, I do. Oh, I went with this outfit, and then I tried this, and then I tried that, and I had to go through all that to realize that you guys were the only ones that really had an interest in me, that were willing to spend time with me, that actually wanted to teach me how to trade, not just sell me one thing after another thing after another thing. True story. Over and over. We did just hit the short target. Yay. Even that candle right there, it opened at 469, dropped to 448. That's another $400 candle. Crude oil, giddy up. It's trying to get to the highest weekly trading zone. So here's where we opened last night. We got to the zone and we consolidated, and then bang, we ran right up to the target. Now, what is this? The red line gets below the green line. That's called a bearish cross. When you have a bearish cross that leads to an extended move, the first time price revisits that area will almost always be good resistance. Will it always be good resistance? No, I said it will almost always be good resistance, at least the first time up. It tried once, twice, 3 times, couldn't break it. So it had to back up and get a running start. Pulled all the way back to the BBC. Think of pulling back a bow or a slingshot, right? Pull that sucker back. Didn't quite make it at the target, did it? So you pull it back again and again. And finally, we overcome the target. Not only do we overcome the target, but we overcome. Now this is Friday, this is Thursday, this is Wednesday. We actually take out, we actually take out Wednesday's high. That's kind of a big deal. Okay, you should be expecting that to be resistance. Okay. Now a lot happens inside of a 30-minute candle. It could have run up to that point and then dropped like a rock back to 82.20 and then rallied back up again and overcome it. I don't know. I wasn't watching it in real time. Now, this is interesting. Step line cross. See, you got your perfect stack on the way up. Price, step line, blue and climbing, BBC. Step line crossed. Price attempted to pull back to the BBC. That's what we expect to happen, right? Every time. When price is unable to pull all the way back to the BBC and you close green, that tells you that there's some bulls out there, some buyers, institutional sized ones, that are confident in buying at this price. When the market should be retracing, institutions are buying. So When price can't get all the way to the BBC, that's a sign of strength. And I want you to look what's happened. Now, where are we at right now? What's the high? 83.05. Let's just call it $83. Okay? Right here is $82. Okay, does everybody agree? $82. From $82 to where we are right now, $83. From $82 to $83. That's $1,000 per contract traded. When the price of crude moves $1, it's worth $1,000 per contract. When the price of gold moves $1, $100 per contract. Silver moves $1, $5,000 per contract. ES moves $1, $50. Okay. Now I'm not trying to shortchange the ES because 2 points go for the day. And I know that so many people, they hear that and they go, yeah, that's fine, 2 points a day, put your mouse away, but I can't live off $100 a day. Well, few people can, except in third world countries. The idea is to become consistent at getting that 2 points a day. And once you qualify to go live and you increase your account balance by $2,000, then you get to add a second contract profit you earned in the market. Now those 2 points are worth $200 a day. And when you add your third contract with profit you earned in the market, the same 2 points are worth $300 a day. And by the time you earn your way up to 5 contracts, that's $500 a day. For a lot of people, that's pretty good money. And at 10 contracts, those 2 points are worth $1,000 a day. That's the top 3% of wage earners worldwide. But I know everybody just wants to get to the finish line. Gotta do the work. Gotta be patient. You gotta exercise self-discipline. Otherwise, you're gonna be one of the 9 out of 10. Gives it a shot and walks away. Gold. Now, here's the deal. I failed to roll gold last night. So, I'll show you what it looked like on the previous contract. GCLK. Whoops. How about GGCK? Still didn't work out. Oh, we were in J. That's what we were in. We were at GGCJ. All right. Now we're cooking, right? I think. Yes, that makes sense. Here's the open. We pull back to the BBC. Bang, we hit the target. We pull back to the BBC, and bang, we hit the target. But right now, if you have not rolled forward your gold contract, do it. Otherwise, you'll forget, like I did. Last night, I had a big note on my desk. Roll gold tonight. But then I laid something on top of it. Now, this is the highest weekly trading zone for gold. Keep in mind the zones were created for the J contract, but that really doesn't matter. By close of business today, based on history, price will be at or below the highest weekly zone, even though we rolled. If it doesn't, does that change anything? Am I going to go back to the drawing board after 15 years and figure out how to really do it? No. There is no perfect trader. There is no perfect trade. Logic 247 is such a great example. There's almost 16,300 alerts in the channel. Now, that's our best work, okay? I don't put out any shoddy work in the Logic channel. It's my very best. But yet, because of circumstances beyond my control, 20% or less of all those alerts got stopped out. Now, when an alert does get stopped out, keep an eye on it, because chances are, more often than not, it's going to trigger again, and that second time, it's not only going to make it to the target, but beyond. Same is true of alerts that get tagged with a Z. Okay. Stefan pointed that out the other day, and it was very timely, and I appreciate that. So, all right, moving on. Silver. Silver, pretty active. All right, we opened here. Came down to the short target. You only need 2 pennies. We're below the BBC on this candle. See, we closed below it. Got red and falling overhead. That's bearish. This candle opened at 24.67. Put in a low at 24.63. That's 4 pennies. That's $200 per contract traded. When the market finds support, and now that support was defined yesterday, right there. See, when this candle opened, it printed red to the BBC, and then it reversed and closed green. This was once a red candle. By the time the 30-minute were up, it was a green candle. Okay. I really did give away a lot. Now, I'd probably stop here. Hang on a minute. Okay. So, here's a bearish cross that led to an extended move. First time price revisited that area was this candle yesterday. Dead on. Right where the bearish cross happened. Now, the same is true of a bullish cross, just in the opposite direction. And then, bang, we hit it again last night. But we managed to overcome it up to where that bearish cross happened. And I haven't taught you about that yet, but I will. All right, so we come down to the short target, we get above the BBC, and we run to the long target. We find resistance here, and that sends us back looking for support. We overshot the zone. Now, why did price stop dropping here? You know what I'm going to say. Look left. Why don't other people tell you this? Because they don't really want you to learn how to trade. They just want to keep you on the hook and keep milking you for as much as they can, for as long as they can. And when they can't get another dime out of you, they sell your name and email address to somebody else. and the cycle repeats itself. We don't do that, guys. Number one, we only got one thing, the passport. And we would never, ever sell your personal information. It just goes against the grain of everything we believe in as businessmen and as Christians. So, anywho, market finds support at a spot you would expect. And that sends price back up to the target and to the previous swing high. That resistance sends us all the way back down to the short target and then back up to the zone. We spike the zone. Now, okay, now see this candle closed and this candle was green. It was painting green all the way up and it stopped. Why? Well, you find the answer 2 days ago on Tuesday. Tuesday's resistance sent price all the way back down to the short target again. And this time we go rip-raring up through the target, through the zone, through the previous resistance, and there's Tuesday again. It just won't go away, will it? Price pulls back to blue and climbing. Catch another leg, but we put in a lower high. So we got a high, a lower high, and a lower high. Okay. But we're above the BBC. We're at blue and climbing, but the step line has crossed. So expect this candle to turn red, come down to the zone, and then, come down to the zone, and then if it consolidates a couple candles, BBC will rise to meet it. 6E, Euro. We opened right at the zone, caught a leg to the downside. The answer is over here. Then we retraced to the BBC and consolidated. Blue and climbing turned to red and falling, and down we go. Hit the short target, get to the zone, consolidate a little, drop further. The answer here is over here. We get above the BBC. Now, why did price stop? We got above the BBC. We had a big green candle. What happened? Bearish cross. Do you see? Trading's not easy, but do you see that it can be simple? I hope so. Now, we're below the BBC. We're sitting on top of support at the zone. We got red and falling overhead. Now, you've got potential support here. You've got potential support here. So you don't have a lot of room to work with, but you obviously can see where there are some windows of opportunity. From this low, you need 80 ticks. So, but you got to get below this. So even 70, that's really tight for me. 80, 70. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just not crazy about this. So, is my day shot? No. I just go look for a different market where there is an opportunity that does make sense logically. Now, could price just drop right to the next zone without a hiccup? Sure. But I don't have anything telling me that's what's going to happen. So, back to the daily. Little tiny doji. 53.16 and a quarter is the high. 53.2275 is the all-time historic high. If the markets do open Sunday night, it's going to be wild. And if they don't open to let off some steam Sunday night, then Monday morning is really going to be crazy. Historically, U.S. markets rally into a U.S. holiday. This isn't just a U.S. holiday. This is a global holiday. Honestly, I'm quite surprised that we didn't see more of a rally. But as I told you at the beginning of the week, by lunchtime Thursday, the institutional traders, that have a place up in the Hamptons, they're already there, poolside, sipping Mai Tais, telling their servants to go get them another towel or whatever. Yeah, I gotta go take out the garbage. Anyway, to become a member, go to mytradingiq.com. It's pretty simple. Take advantage of the holiday special, not only on TradingView, but at mytradingiq.com. If you have any questions about anything, call 949-42-EMINI. If you don't want to talk to anybody, you can text a message to that same number, 949-423-6464. Or you could always email us, support@cfrn.net. 9 out of 10 new traders fail. Will that be you? 1 out of 10 succeed. What's the difference? Go find the 1 out of 10 who is a consistently profitable trader and ask them one question. Did you by chance have a teacher when you started trading? And I promise you the answer is going to be 9 times out of 10. Well, of course. How else would I learn? You see, different people think different ways. 9 out of 10 people look at the markets and the charts and trading and they go, whoa, that looks easy. I better get some money in an account and start making money today. 1 out of 10 people look at the markets and look at charts and all that for the first time and they go, wow, the potential here is huge. I better go find somebody to teach me how to do this. See the difference in thought? We give you that somebody 2 hours every trading day in the live training room. Plus, we go beyond that. One-on-one private mentoring. Once you become a passport holder, all you got to do is book the session. No additional charge. Strategy you learn, the indicators you own for life, fluid across all markets, all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETF, the whole shebang. As a passport holder, receive the Logic 247 alerts, the concierge trade alerts, and of course you're in the members only workshop every Thursday night, which we've decided not to have tonight because we polled everybody in the live training room this morning and nobody really, they gave us the night off. Thank you folks very much. We appreciate it. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. We're not the latest thing to come down the pike. We've been around since 2005. On your YouTube, you can track us all the way back to 2008. Oh no, you can track us back 8 years. I'm sorry. Ahead of myself. Okay, good word for the day. What do you say? Yesterday we talked about humbling yourself. He who exalts himself will be humbled. He who humbles himself will be exalted. That was the takeaway. Now we'll start a new topic, good word for the day. Contrary winds. Part 1. Acts 27:4. The winds were contrary. When you set out to do anything for God, the enemy will make sure you encounter contrary winds. In fact, if you're not sailing against the wind, chances are you're headed in the wrong direction. The Bible says Jesus was tempted of the devil in Matthew 4:1. Satan never let up, including the night before Jesus was crucified, when Satan entered into Judas, one of the 12 disciples. Luke 22:3. Remar Schultz, a Holocaust survivor, says, wherever you go today, Satan will try to get you at some street corner, at the office, or in the field. He will make you fall if you leave home without your spiritual armor on. If you leave your belt of truth in the closet, your breastplate of righteousness by the door, your gospel shoes under your bed, or if you leave your shield of faith, the sword of the Spirit, and the helmet of salvation behind you, if you say at daybreak, I will pray when I get a chance, you just gave away your victory. Before long, the wrong words will come out of your mouth. You will look at forbidden fruits and display an improper attitude. The most foolish thing you can do is to leave home unarmed and spiritually naked. A fool says, I have no time to pray. But later he finds all kinds of time to attempt to repair the damage of prayerlessness. Following Jesus is not a walk in the park. Every good thing in the kingdom, from Adam on, has come to us through men and women who stuck it out when the going got tough. The biblical history of the church ends with these victorious words in Acts 28:14. And so we came to Rome. Now that's a big deal, and we'll talk more about that on Monday. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell. Happy Easter.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.